Carolina Coast Records. It's Gorilla Keys. It's your boy Knowledge Black, right hand man of the gang, and I'm here with the kid. How you doing, Baba?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
I'm good. I appreciate you for being here. I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into it. You just dropped the cipher. It's everywhere. The numbers going up. What inspired it? What made you do it? Please talk about it.
Well, I want to say I started the process probably like August of last year, because I was talking to one of my friends. We were just talking about really, I wanted to do a Charleston compilation album, right? But I was like, people in Charleston don't work together. So, I was like, well, I know a couple people that I could probably try to do, but I went from a compilation album to, okay, let's try to do a cipher. So I started the process probably like August of like trying to pick different people, and the lineup that we have now was not the lineup that we had. Well, I mean, a couple people was, but the lineup was not the same. I wanted to get a couple females on it. I wanted to do the whole but it became this whole mess with, the females and, I don't want this person to hear my verse first, and I don't want the da-da-da, and boom, boom, and
again,
so
Charleston people not wanting to work together.
Exactly, but I was determined to get it done. So I want to say about November, I was like, you know what, I don't even care at this point. How many times I wanted to have like 6 to 7 people on it originally, but I was like, if I only have 5, that's fine. I only have 4, that's fine. I'm going to get it done. So come December, I made sure I set the date. I was like, I let everybody know who was doing it. Have your verse done by this time. If you don't have it done by this time, it's not going on. We're shooting a video on this date. If you can't make that, you're not gonna be on it. Like, it just was. I had to get strict, because it was just like, if I'm not, it's never gonna get done. So.
Because again, with black people, they gotta get organized.
Right.
So, you got your brother on it.
Yes.
I actually went to school with him, we did music and stuff, in school and stuff together. Has music always been a big part of, like, your family dynamic?
Yes. My dad, well, really, I want to say it started with my dad, because he rapped, and he used to do, engineer and mix and master, recording and stuff. So he started them doing it, like my brother and my uncle, my sister, and all of them. And then I'm like 10 to 13, 14 years apart from my brother. So it's an age gap. So when I wanted to start doing it, well, first, actually, they wanted me to start rapping, and I didn't want to start rapping. I didn't want to rap. I didn't like taking the time to sit and write at the time, because I wasn't passionate about it. And there was too much time, and it just took too much time and thinking, and I don't want to do this.
It's hard to rap. People don't...
especially if you don't want to do it. If you want to do it, then you'll take the time out to do it. But I didn't want to do it. So maybe like 3-4 years after they was finally like, all right, they gave up on me when I tried to make me do it. I ended up deciding, like, actually, I like this thing. I kind of want to do it, So that's kind of, I want to say I was about 6th grade when I finally made that decision to start trying to, like, write and, rap and do whatever. And I've been doing it ever since then.
Okay. You said the cipher was a process of a few months. You also just released an EP. Were you working on that at the same time as the cipher? And tell us more about the EP.
Yes. Well, see, actually, I was working on an album, and then I had a bunch of different stuff going on at the same time. And then I want to say, with the album, I kind of developed, you can ask Skrilla, I kind of developed this thing. I don't care how much money I have to spend. I don't care how much time it takes. I wanted to get if I'm putting money behind something, I want it to be done right. You know what I mean? So with the album,
invest in yourself.
Right. So with the album, I decided to wait, and also I was doing all these records, but it was like a bunch of club records, and then the album I was working on was more introspective. So it was kind of like, where do these records fit with this? And it was like, well, I'm not just gonna throw these away, so I might as well put that on something and still put something out. So that's kind of how I got to the EP. But really, I was working on an album while I was working on the cipher, and then I just ended up also working on other records that just kind of ended up working out like that.
Okay. Tell us about the EP. Like, what's the lead single? What's the name of it?
So the EP is called Aquarius Rights. I'm an Aquarius, so I'm representing for all my fellow Aquarius. Actually, it's Aquarius season right now. So yeah. But
Baba just had a birthday.
Yeah. My birthday. It was all that. Even the cipher came out. Everything happened. Like, everything lined up perfectly. Actually, just as far as the rollout and all of that. But the EP is called Aquarius Rights. I put out the first single for it last year. It was called Baddest Can Beat. Even though that wasn't the lead single for the EP at the time, I just ended up putting it on the EP because at first I felt the way about putting old songs on the EP because I was like, I don't want people to think, oh, you just being lazy, da da da. But I know I'm a growing artist, so the same way some people might have heard the single is different when you put a single on a project and then package it as one and then sell it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that ended up getting put on there. But that was the first single that I think I had a song called "Poppin" with It's Makaya. We put that out, and then I think that was the last single I put out for the EP. But now, of course, now that the full thing is out, I'm trying to work these videos as far as I know. We just shot a video, "They Held Him Back." That's track 1 on the EP. Go listen to that.
What inspired that?
Helen Back. Helen Back was. I went through a lot of stuff the past 5 years. And one of the things I feel like that was most traumatic was, a little high school heartbreak or whatever, right? Yeah. So, Helen Back, the beginning of it, it's really a 2-part song kind of, like it has a transition through it. The beginning is more so me reflecting on, it was reflecting on the trials and tribulations I went through as far as, in the relationship or whatever it was, and then it goes through to the middle of the song where it kind of like, you broke my heart into da 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 da, and then it goes into big dick energy competition I don't see, because it's almost like now I'm back. You know what I'm saying? Now I done went through the
making presence.
Yeah, now it's like I'm back feeling myself again, and I'm back on that type of time. So that's really what inspired that song, and that's kind of set the tone for me for the rest of the EP. To kind of be on that, like, yeah, I'm popping my shit. I'm doing what I'm doing. So.
Being, because you're 20, so being a young African-American artist in the South, like, do you feel like your music is more a reflection of the time right now with your generation, or is it just more of what you feel your generation needs right now?
I feel like it's a little bit of both. As far as the reflection of, I would say, I don't really feel, and this is not me being cocky or arrogant, I just don't feel like there's anyone right now that sounds like me, doing it like me as far as what I stand for in my brand as a whole, in the brand that I'm creating, right? I feel like there's a lane open in hip-hop right now for me to take, and I'm going to take it, So, and as far as what the game needs right now, I definitely feel like they need a face that is confident in themselves and their sexuality and separating the two as far as, yeah, I might identify this way, but that has nothing to do with my talent. I rap. I write songs. I do boom boom, right? So I feel like, there's been no one to me that has really stood in that, as a rapper that could really be like, yeah, I rap. I might be a little da-da-da, you might be flamboyant, whatever y'all feel, but at the end of the day, I'm a rapper. I'm an artist, So.
Speaking of that, who are some of your influences or some artists that you may want to work with, both locally and already established?
Well, let's start with locally. Locally, I want to work with Pora. Me and her have actually been in contact. It's so funny how all this stuff played out, because I don't want people to think that there's an issue between me and her because the cipher. She knew I was doing this. We talked about it. That's the crazy thing about it. Nobody really knows that though. And it was one girl from the cipher that she ended up going on her Facebook and was like, she wasn't trashing us, but she was trashing us. Pretty much like, yeah, this is the original, and y'all tried to copy the original, not even knowing that, it was already,
already in the works.
And the person that put you on knows that. So, but, that's neither here nor there. But I would say Pora, as far as locally. And then as far as like on a mainstream level, I love Nicki Minaj. I'm a big Nicki Minaj fan. I like The Weeknd. I like The Weeknd. That's my Aquarius brother too. Nicki Minaj, The Weeknd, Drake. These are just the big, everybody Drake, you know what I'm saying? The big artists. Somebody that isn't as big as them, but probably like, to me, K Michelle. I love K Michelle. Like, she's probably one of my like top R&B female artists of all time. Like,
I think she's kind of vocally underrated.
Very much so.
Because they just look at her appearance. They don't.
Yeah, they put her in that black ghetto female, and they don't really give her the credit that her music deserves. But she's very talented. Like, for real. So, I love K Michelle.
If you wanted to leave a message for yourself in the future, when you look back at this after you reached all these goals, you say for yourself, what is one thing you want to tell the future, the kid?
You did it. You did it. You stayed the course, and I'm proud of you. Because knowing me, I know that I'm gonna achieve everything that I want to achieve, even as far. But see, I have so much goals outside of music. Like I always say, by the time I'm 30, granted it might not go that way. Cause they always say you want to tell God a joke, tell him your plans.
Mm-hmm.
So it might not go this way. But I always had plans that I wanted to work my 20s away and grind, and establish myself. And then between my 30s and 40s, kind of slow down the music and focus more on family and having children. And that's always been a thing I wanted to do, is have children.
Mm-hmm.
That's always been a big goal for me, becoming a father.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's what I want that to be, like my next phase in life after this 20s phase and stuff. So, but yeah, I would definitely tell myself that I'm proud of you, because you did it.
Well, I want to tell you, proud of you. It takes a lot to put music out there and to be an artist, and you were able to do something that's gonna be a Charleston hit. It's gonna be right up there with Y'all Boy Look Y'all, all of that, and you did it at a very young age. And I appreciate you for sitting with me, doing this interview, for the keys,
Well, thank you, man.
everything. What's some of your handles? Where can they find you? Where can they find your music and your EP?
Alright, so my handles have changed a little bit because I just trademarked my name. So my new name is E the Kid. I'm not going by E the Kid. But see, I don't know, because I feel like to break the name, I think I need to do kind of like announce me as E the Kid. I just hate how that sounds. Especially with me that I've been going by the Kid for so long. Like I know I'm not gonna say E the Kid in the song, like for my tags and stuff. But for business purposes, it's not E the Kid. So I want to say Instagram is E_the_kid_T. Twitter is the_kid_ET. Snapchat E.the_kid. Oh, with 2 D's. Make sure you add the 2 D's, guys. 2 D's. Twitter, I already said Twitter. TikTok is E.the_kid as well. And Apple Music, Spotify, all the music platforms is just gonna be E the Kid.
I appreciate you. Thank you. And we'll be back again.
All right.
Yeah.